What's up, y'all, man? I want to make this public announcement. Earl Spence got schooled by a in shape street fighter. Remember, that's what he called Sean Porter, in shape. He said, "Man, you ain't nothing but an in shape street fighter. You fight like you swimming." Y'all remember that? Sean Porter went in there and schooled that boy. Earl Spence didn't show not one wrinkle in the fight. He did not show one he did not show one adjustment in the fight. Sean Porter showed that boy so many looks. Earl Spence was confused. Derek James was confused. They all Derek James was mainly was saying was he's getting tired. He's getting tired. So y'all was banking on Sean Porter getting tired. Is that was the whole game plan? Let's bank on this man getting tired. You know what I'm saying? Now, Earl Spence coming out and making excuses. Oh, I have to get back on my nutrition. Oh, I have to start taking boxing more serious in between fights. I got to start blowing up in weight. Oh, I got to get back on my strength and conditioning coach or start doing strength and conditioning. It had nothing to do with your strength and conditioning. It had nothing to do with your not having a nutritionist. It had nothing to do with you blowing up in between weight. Sean Porter schooled you, and it started in round one. Usually, if you're struggling making weight or all them things you said you didn't do, that usually show up in the second half of the fight. Earl Spence, you fought strong all the way to the end. So it had nothing to do with your strength and conditioning. It had nothing to do with blowing up in between weight. It had nothing to do with your nutritionist. You know what it had something to do with? You got holes in your game, and they was exploited. Yes, a lot fighters have holes in their game, but yours was exploited on pay-per-view. Now, it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. It was worthy of pay-per-view. It was a classic fight. But the holes in your game, you didn't exploit no holes in Sean Porter game. Sean Porter got holes in his game too. You didn't exploit his holes. Sean Porter comes in with his head up a lot. Sean Porter throw wild punches. You can punch in between his punches if you knew how to transition from defense to the offense instead of putting the earmuffs on. You would have countered Sean Porter long before you knocked him down in the 10th round. You would have got that knocked down early if you knew how to counterpunch for one, transition from offense to defense. You would have been had that those clean shots. Those clean shots were there all night. We all know Sean Porter holes in his game, but you did not exploit not one of his holes in his game. Earl won. Yeah, he won on the scorecards from the judges. From my eyes, Earl Spence did not win the fight. Yes, the judges are official. You are right. The judges are the official, judges of the fight. They give you the fight on your record. Yes, win or lose, win or loss on your record when it goes to the decision. Yes, you're right about that. But from my eyes and my point of view, Sean Porter won the fight, and it's a lot of people that think Sean Porter won the fight. A lot of, not just me. It's a lot of people that thought Sean, and I picked Sean Porter to win the fight before the fight. I'm not a Johnny come lately. I'm not a I told you that Sean Porter might have had a chance. No, go check my video. I picked Sean Porter to win the fight. So, and it's a lot of people. I don't know how. I don't know. I know you picked you. I don't know if you picked Earl Spence or you picked Sean Porter. I don't know who you picked, but there's a lot of people that picked Earl Spence by devastation, walking through Sean Porter and knocking Sean Porter out. I didn't see none of that. I didn't see anything close to that. Deontay Wilder even admit that he thought Earl Spence was gonna dominate, and then he tried to walk it back a little bit, like, well, I mean, not dom. Yes, you said it right. You said the thing. You said what you wanted to say in the beginning. You thought Earl Spence was going to dominate because a lot of people buy into this that Earl Spence is some truth as far as being a great fighter. Oh, he's a great fighter. No, man, he's not a great fighter. He has holes in this game. Sean Porter exploited the holes, and there are glaring holes. He called that man an in-shape street fighter. So you mean to tell me an in-shape street fighter came and got in the ring and was able to school you in the sport of boxing? See, that's why you have to watch your mouth on how you what you say about people, because by you saying he's an in shape street fighter for one, um, you're gonna take away you take away from what you can do in the ring versus him. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think your opponent good, you don't think your opponent. If you think you could beat your opponent, that's one thing. Okay, yeah, I can beat him. I'm better than him, but yeah, he can fight. You don't call an opponent a guy that you finna fight that's another champion, an in-shape street fighter, then go out there and have a performance that you have versus him. That doesn't add up. You had a poor performance. You said you was gonna knock him out cold. You said I did not want to knock out Mikey Garcia, which I don't believe. I still hold on to that. Don't believe that for a second. But I'm going to knock you out cold. And I told people, you ain't knock out Mikey Garcia. You think you finna knock out Sean Porter? Sean Porter never been knocked out. Yes, he's been knocked down, but he's never been knocked out. Sean Porter never been walked through. So you gonna walk through Sean Porter, as your supporters say, and you're gonna knock him out. This man turned you on the ropes all night. You did not make one adjustment from this man turning you and spinning you on the ropes. Now, I have seen many fights in my life, many fights. Very seldom do you see a fighter get spent off the ropes. I don't think I ever seen a fighter get another fighter on the ropes and that fighter spin off the ropes every time except for one time, maybe one or two times. Sean Porter spent that man, not only spent him off the ropes, but put him in a vulnerable, put Errol Spence in a vulnerable position and start beating up on Errol Spence. How does that happen round after round after round if these people say Errol Spence makes adjustments in the ring? I keep telling y'all, he doesn't make adjustments in the ring. He fights the same pace. He fights the same way. It's just he has great stamina. I'll give this to Errol Spence. He had great stamina. He has great heart. He has grit. Like he say, he didn't fold up under pressure. He didn't do none of that stuff. But he doesn't make adjustments. He just fights harder. And he usually fights harder than the other guy, which he devastates the other guy by fighting harder. And he goes to guy's body. I give it to you that. I give you that. He goes to guy's body very well, even though he was hitting Sean Porter down low. I'm not counting the belt line when he was hitting Sean Porter on the white part. I'm talking about when he was hitting Sean Porter on the gold part, which is his shorts. That's a low blow. But anyway, I digress. But he doesn't make adjustments. In the Kell Brook fight, he did not make an adjustment. He just outwheeled Kell Brook. It wasn't an adjustment. He was getting beat up. He was losing that fight in the first half. He just fought harder than Kell Brook. Kell Brook wilted under the pressure. So you got to get Errol Spence all that credit. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Mikey Garcia, behind a nice jab. You got to give it. You can't take nothing away from him. He fought Mikey Garcia behind a nice jab. I thought Mikey Garcia would have more success in that fight. He nullified Mikey Garcia, and Mikey Garcia could not get past the jab. Mikey Garcia did not attempt to slip the jab. He did not attempt to counter Errol Spence. When Errol Spence was throwing his jab, he didn't do none of that. Sean Porter not only slipped the jab, he slipped the jab almost all night. He took the jab away from Errol Spence. If you look at that fight, Errol Spence could not do anything with the jab. Nothing. And then when he threw the jab, he was like pawing the jab. It was no conviction. He wasn't throwing the jab with confidence. Because you know when somebody throwing a jab with confidence, man, they step into that mug. He wasn't doing none of that. What he did well in that fight, he went to the body. That was about the only thing. But Sean Porter was going to his body. But Sean Porter was countering better. Yes, he didn't counter Sean Porter when he knocked him down. He caught Sean Porter in between them. They both was throwing punches. In a minute. Burberry, go see what he want. I'm making the video real quick. Go tell Burberry what you want. What you want? What do you want? Burberry? So that's essentially what he did. He did not make not one adjustment. How can you be a great fighter and not make one adjustment in 12 rounds of boxing? 12 rounds. That fight went 12 rounds. Now, Earl Spence, who says man down, he has now went 24 rounds and he made a street fighter glove touch the canvas. That's all he did. He just made a street fighter glove touch the canvas in 24 rounds. But yet he says man down, and everybody think he's just gonna walk through everybody. I told y'all, when these fighters fight each other like Danny Garcia, Crawford, Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, even you could throw Ugas up in there. When those guys fight each other, none of those guys are really gonna walk through each other. They're not gonna just walk through each other. They're not gonna go in there and just you just gonna knock the guy out. No, man, it usually doesn't happen like that. These guys are at the elite level. They didn't get to the elite level in their era, you know what I'm saying, of eliteness. They did not get to that point by getting walked through and getting knocked out, man. So I knew he was not. I knew that Earl Spence. Let me go back. I even knew that before I can say he was gonna even walk through him. Before I can get past people saying that, I I had to fight 50-50. I had to fight 50-50. I went with Sean Porter simply because I told y'all Sean Porter was going to be able to get past the jab. Once you get past Earl Spence's jab, Earl Spence is he's kind of an ordinary fighter. Not disrespecting Earl Spence. He's not. I'm not saying he can't fight. He just ordinary. He doesn't have. He doesn't. He don't show anything else. He doesn't show nothing else. He's not fast. Now he's shown in this fight he's really not a precision puncher. I thought he was a better precision puncher than that. He really isn't. Because if you was a precision, look, let's just think about it for a minute. You're a professional fighter. When a guy throws wide, you're supposed to throw your punches straight down the middle. Everybody's taught that when they get in the gym. Throw punches straight down the middle. Because when the guy's throwing wide, the straight punches get there first. If Earl Spence was this precision puncher like everybody say he is, he would have hit Sean Porter a lot more than what he hit Sean Porter. He would have probably, most likely would have got several knockdowns in the fight and maybe had. See, Sean Porter fights in a style in which you can stop Sean Porter, but you have to be able to transition from offense to defense. That's not a Earl Spence specialty. He can do it somewhat, but that's not something that he does smoothly. He doesn't transition from. He put the earmuffs up instead of trying to counter a man. He put his earmuffs up, and when you throw more than two punches at Earl Spence, he's uncomfortable. I've been saying that for a long time. I seen it in the Carol Brook fight. That was the first time I really seen it was in the Carol Brook fight. When Carol Brook was throwing more than two punches, Earl Spence was he was not looking right. His posture wasn't right. His demeanor wasn't right. He doesn't like that many punches thrown at him. He doesn't look comfortable. And Sean Porter is not a precision puncher. Let's let's just put it out there. Sean Porter is a wing puncher. Like he does throw wild punches. He's a wing'em type puncher. Even Sean Porter right hand is a wing. He even loops that. So and that's another thing. Earl Spence's defense is not that good. He doesn't move his head. Been saying that for a while. He doesn't move his head. And when he starts fighting better fighters, it's going to cost him. It didn't cost him in this fight only because he's the house fighter. He's the marquee name. And when you fight guys that are the marquee names, hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. What? What do you want? What do you want? I'm asking you what you want. Right. Get off the computer, man. No, I don't care if you're busy. Get off the computer and put that up. Come over here and play toys with this man. You probably was on that computer the whole time I was gone. Was he on that computer the whole time I was gone? Was he on that computer the whole time I was gone? Huh? Was he on that computer the whole time I was gone? Virtually the whole time. He said he was playing with him. 5%, 2%. Come on, man. Get over here and play with this man. I'm trying to. Let me finish my video. Go back. He gonna play with you. I'm gonna finish my video real quick. We're gonna play with you. Come on, bro. I'm gonna finish my video. Got people waiting. I'm back, y'all. I got a hyper 2-year-old, but like I said, Errol Spence got holes in this game. Look, he's not the only fighter that got holes in this game. All these guys got holes in their game. It's just his got exploited big time. Like every hole that he had in his game was exploited. If you know anything about boxing, and I'm not saying everybody know all the technical aspects about boxing. Maybe you don't, but Errol Spence don't move his head. You get hit back. You get hit with unnecessary punches. When you don't move your head, you usually put the earmuffs up. That's why he put the earmuffs up, because he don't move his goddamn head. Second of all, he doesn't know how to transition from offense to defense, which would have allowed him. I said a while ago that if they fought, I said this like about a year ago. I said Errol Spence will have a chance to knock out Sean Porter in a devastating fashion if, and only if, he's willing to stay in the eye of the storm, which where it's calm, and be willing to transition from defense to offense, and he can land the punches that he need to land. Because Sean Porter, he kind of rushes in. His chin sometimes, a lot of times, is over his foot. You know what I'm saying? You seen in that fight, he throw wild punches. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter goes for it. So if Earl Spence could have settled down, maybe took a half step back and delivered a right hand, we don't know. He probably could have. If he didn't knock Sean Porter out, he probably could have had several knockdowns. But see, to me, Sean Porter won. See, that's why I hate when fights go to the decision. I like people knocking people out. So we don't have this. Oh, I thought he won because he landed this one little soft punch in this round. See, I like knockouts because when it goes to the judges, you're at the mercy of the judges. That's what they're there for. They're there to judge the fight. If you cannot do your job and get the man out of there within the 12 rounds. Like I said, I already laid out when the fight. If you don't want the fight to go to the scorecards, have their corner stop the fight, the referee stop the fight, you knock them out cold, or the commissioner get up on the ropes. If you don't achieve that, then you at the mercy of the judges. I'm not here to say Sean Porter got robbed. He didn't get robbed. He just got an unjustly scorecard, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Sean Porter won the fight, man. Let me read some of these comments. What fight you was watching? I was watching the same fight you was watching, Reggie. The same fight. Errol Spence won the fight. Errol Spence won. Hell, you talking about? Yeah, Errol Spence won. Yeah, he officially won the fight. You right. He officially won the fight. I came into the fight thinking Spence was going to win. I had Porter winning. Porter activity, handcuff Spence, offense, no scoring. I told a lot. I'm not the only one that thought Sean Porter won the fight. See, you're not gonna be able to do damage control on me because before the fight, I said this clearly. Before I already knew how the fight was gonna go. I knew that there was going to be controversy after the fight. I knew it was gonna be controversy after the fight, and I knew people was gonna say. I thought that Sean Porter was gonna probably do something like maybe not intentionally headbutt Errol Spence, but Errol Spence was doing the dirty stuff. Errol Spence was the one punch low. Errol Spence, I counted. Like I said, I didn't count the ones on Sean Porter's belt line. I counted the punches that was on the gold part of Sean Porter shorts. And it was like 8 to 10 low blows. Legitimately low blows. I'm telling you. Sean Porter was either that counter left all fight. Stop it. Great competition makes all fighters harder than it's supposed to be. No, okay, look, White Towns King. I don't know. Do you make videos? Because if you make videos, I want to know how did you have the fight going before the fight? Because that matters. Because if you are saying now, if you said at the beginning before the fight it's going to be competitive, then I get what you're saying. But if you went into the fight saying that Errol Spence was going to dominate the fight, I don't get what you're saying. Real mad boxing talk. Crawford versus Spence is not even as lofty to me after the fight. Crawford is waged. I've been saying, look, I don't have to wait to get confirmation. I know boxing. I know I've been in the ring. I know how people fight. I know what I'm looking at. I already told people when Crawford was at 135. I told people he's going to get to 147. And when he gets to 147, the only guy I can see that now Sean Porter will give him a hard fight because Sean Porter gonna get everybody a hard fight. But like I said, if Terence Crawford fight Sean Porter, you will see that Terence Crawford is gonna it's gonna be a hard fight, but you gonna come away with the fight saying Terence Crawford won that fight. I said the only guy, and people laughed. People will laugh. People still probably will laugh. I said the only guy that Terence Crawford, well, two guys he would have problems with. He still will have problems with Manny Pacquiao, and he's gonna have problems with Keith Thurman because of the fact that Keith Thurman got good foot movement. Keith Thurman is very explosive. Keith Thurman got a decent jab. Keith Thurman got fast hands, and Keith Thurman can't throw in combinations. So and Keith Thurman can fight off his back foot too. So that would be a hard fight for Terence Crawford. But I told people he's he's going to beat Errol Spence. And people told me, "Oh no, Errol Spence is this and that. He's too big." I said, "No, he's not too big for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford will naturally grow into the welterweight division because Terence Crawford is 5'8". Actually, Terence Crawford got longer arms than anybody at welterweight right now. He got a 72-inch reach. So I told people that a 72, 73-inch reach, something like that. I told everybody that Terence Crawford will be able to handle himself because of his skill set. People fail to realize Terence Crawford got really good defense. Terence Crawford likes to fight on his front foot sometimes. But if Terence Crawford decide to get on his back foot, there's no one at welterweight that's going to beat him. He can transition from offense to defense. He has defense. He can fight southpaw. He can fight orthodox. He has a great jab. He can fight coming forward. He got good punching power at welterweight because he stopped. He would have stopped Amir Khan. To me, he stopped all three opponents at welterweight. So, like I said, Terence Crawford is the most versatile fighter at welterweight. Period. Sean, unbiased or biased. Sean Porter took away Spence's jab and then he took away his counter. Yeah, I was disappointed in the fact that Spence wasn't throwing the step back uppercut, which that was there all night. It was a lot of punches there all night. The hook was there all night. The uppercut was there all night. The straight right hand, if he took a step back, was there all night. Like I said, he's not as skilled as people. He's a good fighter, but he's not as skilled as, and he has some good attributes. Mainly, Errol Spence attributes is his toughness, his conditioning, and he got good heart. I wonder if Spence thinks he needs to work on his head movement now. Yeah, I mean, listen, Earl Spence already told you what his excuse was why the fight was the way why he didn't perform well. Because look, if Earl Spence really thought he performed well, he wouldn't have come out and say, "I got to start taking boxing serious. I got to stop blowing up in between weight. I got to get back with my. I got to have. I got to do my nutritionist better. I got to probably do my strength and conditioning. All that stuff sound just like Broner. That sounded how Broner was sounding right before he fought Maidana, when he fought Paulie, when he fought another fighter and lost his belt on the scales. It was all this stuff that he was talking about. Kind of the same type of talk that what Earl Spence has to realize is part of being a great fighter is being prepared. So look, even if I take Earl Spence's word for it, so you telling me you weren't prepared for one of the biggest fights of your career. Well, the biggest fight of your career up to this point, you telling me you wasn't fully prepared. That's alarming. That should be alarming to people that he is admitting that he wasn't fully prepared. I believe he was that stuff happened because of Sean Porter, not because he wasn't fully prepared. But he's using that. So let's just use what he's using. So you mean to tell me you wasn't fully prepared for the biggest fight of your career up to this point? Come on, man. That's alarming. That's how to say. That goes to your mental toughness as far as being ready at all times. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Earl paid the cost for fighting flat foot. Yeah, That's another thing. He's a flat-footed fighter. I've been saying that for a long time. Earl Spence. All this stuff that people were saying, I was saying this a year, 2 years ago. That he's a flat-foot fighter. He doesn't move his head. He's gonna pay for it when he fight better fighters. Chris Algieri's of the world is not gonna make you pay for it. Linder Bundu is not gonna make you pay for it. What's that one guy he fought in Dallas that he beat with a body shot? Ocampos. He's not gonna make you pay for it. The people that's gonna make you pay for it are the Sean Porters of the world, the Keith Thurmans of the world, the Danny Garcias of the world, the Terrence Crawfords of the world. Those are the guys that are going to make you pay for it when you don't have your stuff on. When you're not on your game, or you have things missing out of your game. That's why Danny Garcia jumped in that ring. Danny Garcia looked at that fight. He said like, hold on, if Sean Porter can get to him, yeah, I know styles make fights, and it may be totally different between him and Danny. But what I can tell you is Danny is a more precision puncher. Danny punches more straight down the line. Danny is more of a power puncher than Sean Porter. He got a better right hand and a better hook and better timing. Now, both of these guys are flat footed. Danny Garcia is flat footed and Errol Spence flat footed. So it's gonna be a in close fight. It's gonna be an in range fight. So we'll see. But like I said, man, thank y'all for coming through, man. Let me get up out of here. I'm out.